My name is Dominique Grant. You may know me as a basketball player, a coach, maybe even a PE teacher.
Cầu thủ cuối cùng của hiệp đấu này, Dominique Grant. Grant có bóng, Grant thêm 3 điểm, Grant hot thêm.
It's not often that a player finds a country that embraces them, allows them to be themselves, and like you said, build a legacy. Like Kobe Bryant, he has a famous quote where he says, make sure you leave the game in a better position than where you found it. Today we're going to talk about my journey in Vietnam basketball. When I finished up, I was undecided on what exactly it was I wanted to do. I know I wanted to pursue basketball, but I didn't have necessarily an agent or anything of that nature working for me. I didn't know really how to navigate the professional side. And then as the year progressed, I started to play like some semi-professional basketball, but I really was left searching for like the right opportunity or what to do in order to make that happen. I had a friend who he was playing pro ball in Germany, and he had a friend, a high school friend here in Vietnam that was looking to start an academy. They were looking for a coach, and I basically was left with a decision of, do I go to Germany, sleep on his couch, hang out there, and just look to try to work out for teams, or do I come to Vietnam and start working at this academy teaching basketball with the possibility of maybe networking with the agent or something of that nature, and then maybe potentially going to play pro ball. I had no knowledge of the country or how the game was here, but I ended up choosing to come to Vietnam and start working with an academy. I get introduced with an opportunity to just go like observe a practice. It was a club by the name of Bong. I went to observe and eventually ended up working out with the guys. And over time, we built kind of a relationship. I think the first event we did together was a 3x3 event, maybe a Soul X or something like that. And we ended up winning it. We entered the HBL League, which is like the top amateur league here in Hanoi. We ended up winning the league. I ended up receiving like MVP. And after that tournament took off, and then the film started coming out about it, I started getting random Facebook requests or kids just randomly popping up and kind of like asking me, are you this person, you know? When it first came, I was very, very shy from it. I didn't really consider myself to be a god, coming from like a religious background, but the legend of the name kind of just stuck and it kept growing by itself, actually. Yeah, I had no choice but to accept it, and I couldn't run away from it. So I was first introduced to the Olympia School. I started out basically just kind of observing a former coach here. Former coach had to take on another responsibility somewhere else. So I was introduced to a group of kids that I did not know at all. From there, I just started to come here and build a relationship with the kids, the students, and the staff. From there, we ended up winning, which is like the biggest tournament here right now, the Milo Student Tournament, with only about 5 players, actually, 6 players to be correct. And it was pretty exciting. And from there, we built a pretty good relationship going forward. And I ended up being introduced to the head of the Basketball Federation at the time for Hanoi basketball. And there was an opportunity presented about potentially taking on the task of being a head coach for the women's team. I knew if I took the title, it would bring attention to the women's game. At that time, the VBA was still kind of new, but a lot of the men's side were getting more attention, obviously, by playing VBA and with their professional teams. And on the women's side, it wasn't as much attention, especially for the Hanoi side. I saw how hard they trained, and to know that they trained so hard for only particularly one event per year, I just felt like it wasn't fair, or they needed more. They deserved more. So that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to do it. I believe the previous tournament before I took over, they had medal. We achieved a bronze medal and a silver medal within like 1 year, my team within the short term span. If I could take on one of those roles and try to bring more awareness to it and try to emphasize the importance of giving them more tournaments or more leagues. That's always my goal to do. So I left December 2018. Just had the birth of my daughter. She was born in May of that year. So after she was born, I had to come back and fulfill my duties as the head coach of the Illinois women's team as we were preparing for the national tournament. My schedule was quite hectic, actually, basically filling up three different slots with three different titles at the time. So on an average day, I would probably start out with the Illinois women's team about 6 a.m. I would do that about 6 a.m. in the morning. We would do that workout. I'd have a little bit of downtime leading up into the afternoon, and I would come and do my work here at Olympia. I would end it with after-school programs with the academy, and that was every day, literally every day of the week, basically. The market wasn't as what it is now, if I'm being honest, in regards to what basketball is. And then just from a business standpoint at the time, I didn't really see how I could support financially from here as well as my daughter being raised. It was year 2021. Olympia extended an invitation to come back. The group I started out with at Olympia, they were getting ready to enter their grade 12 year, their final year of school, and they were looking for a coach to lead them again. And I really was excited because I had obviously been in contact with all of them while I left, and they had some ups and downs with the basketball program. So when the opportunity presented itself to come back and coach them, that was the number one reason why I came back. And then I came in that August of that year, I was full time. Obviously, I get to connect with so many different kids from different ages. I try to give my wisdom in any way possible. I try to give life experiences. We have a lot of kids who end up going off to schools internationally. So I try to give them any knowledge I can to prepare them for that. It's way bigger than just coaching basketball. Again, when you're dealing with a lot of kids, especially in the school setting, not every kid is interested in playing sports. And if they're not interested in playing sports, some of them don't even want to get sweaty because they only have 55 minutes before they're going back to class. So you try to keep it fresh, fun, competitive, and just challenge them every day so that eventually if you get one or two kids that may grow an interest to the sport, then they look into like joining academies or playing for their school teams. And like I said before, relationships, I'm very big on relationships and people that I trust. I had experience working with here before in the past. This is a very family-oriented school, was founded by a lot of strong women, and I'm big on trying to uplift and build women. The biggest thing with that is just the relationship I have with the school, the kids that I had taught in the past. That's why I wanted to come back here. Well, it was exciting to be back just to be able to play basketball. Like, obviously being familiar with Bading, it was fun to get basically a younger group of guys who kind of knew who I was, or the legend of Dom God, I guess you could say. There's always a dream in it. There was always a dream. There was always, you feel like you're a pro. I had different workouts from the time I left college, even till maybe up to a couple of years ago, where I worked out with multiple professional players from NBA and on, to where they tell you, you know, they feel like you have that talent. They feel like you're a professional. It's just about the political side of things, and do you have the right representation, and how do you make your resume known? Earlier in the year, I did do the 3x3 event, but even then, there was great conversation going into it that I knew I wouldn't play 5x5. It was more so about just helping out a younger group of guys with the Dolphins. So after the 3x3 event with the Dolphins, I didn't see a direct level or line to the 5x5 from VBA. So when I got the call, it was shocking and very surprising because my family was here visiting from the States, and we basically were on a trip. We were literally flying out the next day to go visit Danone. And then I ended up getting the phone call, and then it just kind of took off the way it did. I felt like I checked every box once that happened. You know, obviously as a kid, you dream about those moments. To just play a professional ball, to have your name on the back of a jersey, and things like that. So when that happened, and it happened while my family was here, I had just got engaged. Family was able to watch it. It was a beautiful time. Obviously, they hadn't won a game before I got there, and then once I got there, we was a new energy in the building. Between me, Ed Horton, and Michael Soy, we was able to come together as a group and just kind of lead and mentor the local players. And I feel like it helped spark a turnaround for what our season looked like. So it was definitely a great opportunity. I'm always thankful, and I'll always show love to Danang just for the opportunity to play. Like I said, I've played a lot of basketball in my life, but that was different, obviously, because it was a rush. It was the media, it was my family, it was my kids within my program. Just, you know, you have all these different eyes on you who, you know, they have expectation for you and things that you preach to them. So for those six matches, it was definitely a teaching experience. Don't give up. If you actually believe in something, chase your dreams, and you never know how it may work out for you. Obviously, the game and the sport have been growing since my first time here. There was an opportunity for myself to kind of start my own program. So by seeing that, Olympia allowed me to take place with that as well, and I just decided to start mentality. Our slogan is "We over me," so we prioritize teamwork over individualism. Play hard, play together, be responsible, and I feel like it translates to so many things bigger than just the sport. So we try to teach them life skills through that. Thing is, we just want them to not have an ego, work hard, and trust their own work. I'm excited, actually, to know where we started. This situation basically started in my living room with a thought, and to see where it is now in 2 years, to have 80 plus kids in the program, that says a lot for me. It means a lot to me to be able to have 80 different personalities looking to you for trust and believe in you to help them grow, not only just their basketball games, but just their future career decisions. We've won a few tournaments here, obviously throughout Hanoi as well. We have a lot of players who have been represented on the national Hanoi team as well. As far as the girls side goes, the same thing. It's still a newer program on the girls side. Last year as the U18 group, we were able to go to the national tournament as well. For the first group, that was an academy outside of provinces. Like, we were the first academy to do that on the girls side. So we're still young, we're still new, we're still trying to build it up. But overall, we're just trying to teach kids how to play basketball the right way. Man, if I would have told you 7 years ago when I got on a plane that I would still be here today or be a part of it, I would be lying. I feel like I made the right decision, because if I go to Germany, I may make a team. I may earn a spot, who knows? But a lot of times with players who go overseas, they end up bouncing around from different country every year. It's not often that a player finds a country that embraces them, allows them to be themselves, and, like you said, build a legacy. To be able to say that I've been here for that long, to see where the game was when I came here, to see where it is now, it means a lot. There was a lot of sacrifice that went into it. I've missed so many events back home. So to look at where the game is, that what makes it fulfilling and worth it, when you can just see the growth and the trajectory of how it's growing here.